Today, I'm going to tell you a love story that is incredibly captivating. The main characters are Annabelle Kennedy, a strong and humorous single mother, and her witty son, Ethan Kennedy. The story begins with Annabelle preparing for a job interview, but her 6-year-old son interrupts with his cheeky remarks. Ethan, a sharp-tongued and intelligent boy, keeps lecturing his mom, saying, "Mother dear, if you want to get the job, you need to wear bright red lipstick to outshine the competition." As a result, the boy gets a few stinging smacks on the bottom from his mom. Yet, he doesn't stop arguing, leaving Annabelle both frustrated and amused. Life for the mother and son in the bustling city of Cloud is far from easy, especially as Annabelle, still young, has to raise her son alone without knowing who the father is. Her best friend, Sophia Turner, a bold and strong-willed woman, is always there to support and protect the two of them. It is Sophia who introduces Annabelle to a job interview for a housekeeping position. And so, Annabelle finds herself at an interview held in a luxurious cafe. There, she meets William Grant, a handsome and elegant man, who surprises her by being the interviewer. The interview turns into a humorous encounter as Annabelle earnestly describes her skills in housekeeping and childcare, while William seems amused and laughs at her candidness. The biggest surprise of all. William is not just an ordinary interviewer but a wealthy and powerful man with an extraordinarily charming appearance. Annabelle Kennedy desperately needed a job to support her child and cover living expenses, so when William Grant asked if she wanted the position, she eagerly agreed despite the conditions he set. William Grant required her to live with him, follow all his rules, and sign a contract at the relevant authorities. Although slightly surprised, Annabelle Kennedy accepted as she had no other choice. She added a condition that he could not fire her within 3 months, to which William Grant not only agreed but also promised not to dismiss her for an entire year. Once they reached an agreement, William Grant took Annabelle Kennedy to sign the contract. As they went downstairs, she noticed many eyes following them. Curious, she asked, and he introduced himself as William Grant, insisting she call him William, which left her puzzled by the familiarity. Suddenly, a crowd recognized him, cheering and taking photos non-stop. To avoid trouble, William Grant pulled Annabelle Kennedy into his arms, shielding her from the cameras. This left her both surprised and confused about his fame. When they got into the car, she asked why he garnered so much attention, but he only replied that his status attracted notice. She immediately recalled Sophia Turner's remark about him being the heir to a prominent family. William Grant drove to the Labor Department to sign the contract, but his mysterious demeanor made Annabelle Kennedy suspicious. He wore sunglasses to avoid being recognized, while she couldn't understand why signing a labor contract required such caution. Upon arrival, she obediently stood in line, but William Grant's impatience only made the situation seem even stranger. Annabelle Kennedy just thought she was going for a regular housekeeping job interview, but everything unfolded far beyond her imagination. Under the guidance of William Grant, a mysterious and charismatic man, she was drawn into a series of strange events. Initially, she naively believed that signing an employment contract was simply a straightforward agreement, but William Grant deliberately distracted her by placing loud headphones over her ears, masking all the chatter around about his identity. He then quickly led her into a room, asked her to take photos, and sign documents without her understanding their content. It wasn't until she left what was called the Labor Bureau that Annabelle Kennedy was horrified to realize she had just signed a marriage certificate with him. Stunned by this revelation, Annabelle Kennedy intended to tear up the certificate, but William Grant stopped her with a stern warning: "If you tear it, there's no divorce." He candidly admitted that this was a long-term marriage contract, as he didn't have time to search for love. Despite her protests, he insisted she had successfully interviewed and officially became his wife, even smiling and congratulating her. Things became even more complicated when Sophia Turner, Annabelle Kennedy's best friend, appeared. Furious at her friend's mysterious disappearance, Sophia confronted her. However, faced with William Grant's overwhelming demeanor and his domineering declaration, "Please respect my wife," Sophia Turner, usually sharp and assertive, was left utterly speechless, only glaring at him in astonishment. While Annabelle Kennedy remained confused about what to do, she gradually realized there was no way out. Faced with financial difficulties and the responsibility of raising her child, she was forced to consider accepting this peculiar job. Annabelle Kennedy and William Grant were sitting together watching TV, creating a warm atmosphere like a couple. Meanwhile, her son, Ethan Kennedy, sat nearby, teasing her about her ringtone. When Annabelle Kennedy received a call from William Grant's agent, Oliver West, he requested her help in persuading William Grant to participate in a magazine photo shoot, as he had declined numerous work opportunities. After discussing it, Annabelle Kennedy agreed to assist, and when William Grant found out, he seemed delighted and grew closer to her. They talked about raising Ethan Kennedy, and William Grant showed genuine affection for the boy. Upon arriving at the film set, Ethan Kennedy captured everyone's attention with his adorable appearance. William Grant proudly introduced his son and decided to include Ethan in the photo shoot, further piquing everyone's curiosity about their relationship. William Grant and Annabelle Kennedy were attending a photo shoot with their son, Ethan Kennedy. William Grant decided to take the opportunity to teach Ethan, but the boy seemed uninterested. During the photo shoot, Ethan displayed confidence and charm, delighting everyone around. Meanwhile, Annabelle Kennedy felt a pang of headache as memories of Ethan's biological father resurfaced, but William reassured her that Ethan's father was a good man. The photo shoot was a great success and quickly became a hot topic in the entertainment world. Elsewhere, Lily Brown was watching news about William Grant and Ethan Kennedy, noticing the resemblance between them. Negative thoughts consumed Lily, as he could not forget Annabelle Kennedy, even though he was married to William Grant. Lily's father, Alex Brown, tried persuading him to let go of Annabelle and meet another woman, but Lily refused. The disagreement between father and son escalated, ending with Alex slapping Lily. Overwhelmed with loneliness and pain, Lily felt misunderstood by everyone. The next day, Lily went to a cafe to meet Claire Wilson but showed no interest in the meeting. When Claire tried to make a good impression, Lily bluntly rejected her, declaring he already had someone he loved. When Claire criticized Annabelle Kennedy, Lily became furious and defended her, causing Claire to leave in tears. Shortly after, Sophia Turner, an old friend, happened to witness the scene. Lily asked about Annabelle and was given her address by Sophia. He decided to visit Annabelle Kennedy. When Annabelle opened the door, she was shocked to see Lily standing before her. Her emotions grew tense as she faced her past love. After finding Annabelle, Lily felt a pang of bitterness seeing her pale expression. Though unable to explain past misunderstandings, he tried to comfort her, promising he would not hurt her again. When Annabelle asked how he found her address, Lily mentioned meeting Sophia Turner, making Annabelle realize her friend had disclosed her information. Annabelle did not want to reconnect with Lily and declined his offer to take her shopping. She felt uneasy with his presence, especially as painful memories from the past resurfaced. Boarding a bus, Annabelle coldly asked Lily to stop following her, leaving him hurt. At the supermarket, Annabelle tried focusing on shopping but couldn't stop thinking about Lily. When she stepped outside, Lily appeared again and helped carry her bags, leaving her conflicted between bitterness and rejection. Together, they reminisced about their teenage years, when Lily naively pursued her. On the bus, Lily protected Annabelle from the crowd, showing he had matured. However, Annabelle still wanted to maintain her distance and asked him to drive home alone. Understanding her wishes, Lily said nothing more. On the way back, he gave her a box of crispy fried chicken, a meal she once bought for him in the past. Annabelle felt touched but chose to reject the past. As she prepared to leave, Lily grabbed her hand, pleading with her not to go. Just then, William Grant appeared, witnessing the moment between them, leaving Annabelle flustered. Although William sensed something was amiss, he remained calm, creating a tense situation among the three. In a tense meeting, William Grant looked at Lily Brown with a serious gaze and demanded that he keep his distance from Annabelle Kennedy. This statement left Annabelle Kennedy stunned, feeling confused amidst the complex relationships. Lily Brown immediately reacted, pointing out that although Annabelle Kennedy is currently William Grant's wife, she is still Ethan's mother and his teacher. He asserted that being married does not mean Annabelle Kennedy must sever all ties with others. William Grant nodded in agreement and promised to give Annabelle Kennedy her personal space, which somewhat reassured Lily Brown. Later, William Grant drove Annabelle Kennedy home. In the car, Annabelle Kennedy appeared anxious and began pulling out her shopping items, which included discounted goods like soap and body wash. She questioned why she always bought discounted items, but William Grant simply smiled and said that if she didn't live extravagantly, he could support her for many lifetimes. Annabelle Kennedy frowned at this statement, feeling slightly skeptical. Many lifetimes? William Grant replied with a smile, 3 lifetimes. However, Annabelle Kennedy jokingly wondered if this was a new line from a script, leaving William Grant feeling helpless at her innocence. She felt disheartened, thinking she might not fully understand the good intentions William Grant had for her. When they arrived home, Annabelle Kennedy remained silent, her emotions conflicted. As she got out of the car, William Grant noticed her dazed expression and asked if she was recalling old memories. Annabelle Kennedy quickly shook her head, insisting she remembered nothing. William Grant understood this wasn't something that could be resolved immediately, so he simply nodded and helped her unload the items from the car. Gently, he told her to call him next time she went shopping, or else he would feel jealous. That night, Annabelle Kennedy lay in bed, unable to sleep. Tossing and turning, she dreamt of being in a dark space, anxiously searching for a way out. Suddenly, Lily Brown appeared, startling her. He looked at her with eyes full of pain and reproach, asking why she didn't want to pay attention to him. Lily Brown insisted that he had always been waiting for her and couldn't understand why she had changed. As Lily Brown approached, Annabelle Kennedy felt frightened and backed away, asking him what he wanted. Lily Brown tried to reassure her, but the anger and sorrow on his face only made her more uneasy. He said that every time she saw him, she reacted the same way, and he had no intention of harming her. However, when Ethan's cries for help echoed, Annabelle Kennedy panicked even more, seeing Lily Brown tightly holding her son. Annabelle Kennedy begged Lily Brown to release Ethan, insisting that this had nothing to do with the boy. She recalled that she never intended to abandon Lily Brown and only wished for a stable job. However, Lily Brown claimed that Ethan was the reason Annabelle Kennedy was no longer by his side. When Annabelle Kennedy suddenly woke up, she realized it was just a nightmare. William Grant's voice sounded beside her, asking if she had a bad dream. She sighed in relief, knowing her son was safe. William Grant held her close, comforting her and assuring her that Ethan would always be with them and that he would protect both mother and son. Annabelle Kennedy felt anxious and wanted to see Ethan, so she tugged on William Grant's sleeve, asking him to call their son over. Despite the late hour, William Grant agreed and carried Ethan out of his bedroom. The boy woke up, asking why his father had woken him in the middle of the night. When Annabelle Kennedy hugged Ethan, the sensitive boy sensed something unusual and asked his mother if she was all right. After Ethan Kennedy lay down beside Annabelle Kennedy, William Grant felt a bit displaced. He had returned late after a meeting and drinking. When he entered the room and saw Ethan sleeping next to Annabelle Kennedy, he intended to carry the boy back to his room but accidentally woke her. Annabelle Kennedy asked if he had eaten and offered to warm some food for him. William Grant felt touched, and when Annabelle Kennedy pulled him closer, he kissed her. He then gently placed Ethan Kennedy back on the bed and led Annabelle Kennedy out of the room. When she asked if he was hungry, William Grant hugged her and said he was very hungry, but not for food. Annabelle Kennedy tried to break free to prepare some soup to sober him up, but William Grant wouldn't let her go. Annabelle Kennedy felt flustered and reminded William Grant to stay clear-headed. He responded playfully, making her coax him as if she were soothing Ethan. William Grant cheerfully agreed to eat the noodles Annabelle Kennedy cooked. While eating, he felt content and didn't want anything to ruin their happiness. After the meal, as Annabel Kennedy prepared to help William Grant to bed, he pulled her into his arms and kissed her. However, the situation turned awkward when Ethan Kennedy suddenly turned on the lights, leaving both of them stunned. Annabel Kennedy felt embarrassed and quickly tried to explain to her son. Ethan Kennedy appeared upset about not finding his mother beside him. After comforting her son, Annabel Kennedy returned to the bedroom with Ethan Kennedy. William Grant felt disappointed that their private moment had been interrupted. He decided to find another way to connect with Annabel Kennedy through Ethan. The next morning, William Grant woke up early to prepare a lavish breakfast to please Ethan Kennedy. The boy was delighted with the sweet pastries, but Annabel Kennedy advised against eating too many sweets. Ethan blamed William Grant for giving him the treats, which annoyed him. The boy noticed William Grant's stern look and called out for his mother to save him. William Grant decided to spend time with the family over the weekend and suggested taking Ethan Kennedy to Eternity nightclub. Although Annabel Kennedy was worried about this, William Grant reassured her by mentioning Sophia Turner, which excited Ethan Kennedy. On the way, William Grant revealed that they would meet Dan Dan, a celebrity Ethan Kennedy admired greatly. The boy was thrilled and wanted to prepare well to impress his idol. William Grant and Annabel Kennedy discussed Ethan Kennedy's seriousness, but neither could dampen his enthusiasm. At Eternity nightclub, Ethan Kennedy appeared pensive, thinking about how to confess his feelings to Dan Dan. When Dan Dan arrived, Ethan Kennedy couldn't contain his excitement and immediately proposed to her with a rose. Dan Dan was surprised, while William Grant and Sophia Turner burst into laughter at the amusing scene. Annabel Kennedy quickly apologized to Dan Dan, explaining that her son was just joking. In the cheerful atmosphere at Eternity nightclub, Ethan shyly pleaded with Annabel Kennedy not to interfere with his relationship with Dan Dan. Annabel Kennedy tried to intervene but couldn't help laughing at her son's innocence. Dan Dan also seemed amused by the humorous situation. Taking advantage of the joyful moment, William Grant pulled Annabel Kennedy outside to surprise her. They went to the riverside, where vibrant fireworks lit up the sky. William Grant embraced Annabel Kennedy from behind, making her feel warm and sweet. As the atmosphere turned romantic, William Grant suddenly pulled out a sparkling diamond ring from his pocket. He gently slipped the ring onto Annabel Kennedy's ring finger, leaving her astonished and touched. However, Annabel Kennedy still worried about her past and felt unworthy of William Grant. William Grant firmly declared that Annabel Kennedy was his wife and Ethan was his son, with no room for another father. He accepted everything about her, including her past and her son. Annabel Kennedy felt moved by William Grant's love and acceptance but remained troubled by the perceived imbalance in their relationship. Ultimately, William Grant emphasized that the ring was merely a symbol, and what truly mattered was their bond. Annabel Kennedy agreed and felt joyful receiving the ring, though she still harbored concerns about the future. William Grant took Annabel Kennedy to another place, promising to make her more comfortable with the diamond ring. His love and sincerity made Annabel Kennedy happy, even though she still had many lingering thoughts in her heart. Annabel Kennedy felt joyful and sweet as William Grant led her towards an old jewelry store. Upon entering, the bright and dazzling atmosphere made her feel nervous. William Grant, with his striking demeanor, quickly caught the attention of the staff. Holding Annabel Kennedy's hand, he gently pressed the back of her hand and asked the staff to help select a few of the best wedding ring designs. When the staff realized they were choosing wedding rings, Annabel Kennedy felt shy and pointed to the cheapest ring. William Grant disagreed, whispering in her ear, "My love, even if I had just a piece of bread, I'd give it all to you, understand?" Annabel Kennedy gave him a side glance, thinking there was no need to buy another ring since she already had the large diamond ring William Grant had given her earlier. When she took out the diamond ring, its sparkling light caught everyone's attention. The staff were also surprised by the beauty of the ring. William Grant quickly held Annabel Kennedy's hand, not wanting her to show off. Annabel Kennedy felt a little hurt, explaining that buying additional wedding rings would be wasteful. William Grant sighed, but his eyes were soon drawn to a pair of rings at the end of the counter. They were not overly extravagant, adorned with small diamonds, exuding a discreet elegance. He asked the staff to bring the pair over for them to see. After slipping one onto Annabel Kennedy's ring finger, William Grant leaned close to her ear and asked, "How is it? Beautiful, isn't it?" Annabel Kennedy nodded but couldn't help comparing it to the previous diamond ring. At that moment, a young couple choosing rings nearby recognized William Grant and began to murmur. "Oh my gosh, look, it's William Grant." A loud exclamation drew everyone's attention, and murmurs started spreading. "They're picking out wedding rings. Is this William Grant's mysterious wife? She's quite cute." Amid the chatter, William Grant suddenly pulled Annabel Kennedy close and planted a deep kiss on her lips. Screams erupted from the crowd, making the atmosphere lively. The next day, photos of their kiss in the jewelry store quickly dominated the news, causing a media frenzy. At the top floor of the Grants Corporation, David Grant angrily threw a newspaper onto the desk, his face pale with fury. He felt humiliated seeing his younger brother infatuated with a single mother, believing it tarnished the family's reputation. The image of William Grant and Annabel Kennedy kissing had drawn significant public attention, and information about Annabel Kennedy was quickly investigated. Meanwhile, Ethan Kennedy, Annabel Kennedy's son, sat cross-legged on the sofa, his small face puffed up in displeasure as he watched the images of his mother on TV. The boy felt angry and decided he would take revenge on William Grant for daring to show affection toward his mother in front of him. Ethan Kennedy thought about going on a hunger strike to express his defiance but ultimately decided to storm into the kitchen to grab a knife. The next morning, William Grant took Ethan Kennedy to kindergarten, but before getting into the car, the boy suddenly said, "Wait, I don't want to take the car to kindergarten today." William Grant raised an eyebrow, feeling suspicious. "Skipping class is still skipping class. Are you sure you want to skip school?" The tension between the two began to build as Ethan Kennedy showed resistance to going to school, prompting William Grant to investigate the real reason behind the boy's defiance. This situation promises many interesting and tense developments in the relationship between William Grant, Annabel Kennedy, and Ethan Kennedy. Ethan Kennedy, with his intelligence and quick wit, clearly sensed that William Grant had deliberately enrolled him in an art class to get rid of him. He frowned, pretending to be sick like Lin Dayu. "I ate something bad this morning, what should I do?" "Dad, if I ride in a private car, I'll definitely throw up." This situation left William Grant speechless, but their eyes met, creating a tense atmosphere. After 30 seconds of silence, William Grant asked, "Son, be honest, what do you want to do?" Ethan Kennedy pouted and confidently declared, "I want to experience ordinary life. Today, you shall take me to kindergarten by bus." William Grant couldn't help but admire the boy's creativity but also felt helpless. He asked, "What did you eat today? Did you hit your head or something?" Ethan Kennedy glared at him angrily and threatened, "If you insult my character again, I'll tell Mom." William Grant's face turned cold, but Ethan Kennedy didn't hesitate to yell, "Mom! This bad guy is bullying me." Ethan Kennedy's voice caught the attention of everyone around them, who looked at them with peculiar expressions. William Grant hurriedly covered the boy's mouth but couldn't stop the situation from escalating. He picked Ethan Kennedy up and carried him to the bus, trying to maintain composure under the surprised gazes of the passengers. When the bus arrived, William Grant carried Ethan Kennedy on board. The bus was relatively empty, so he found a seat and placed Ethan on his lap. Ethan didn't resist, knowing that sitting on the lap of a Heavenly King superstar was a privilege. However, the boy didn't stop playing around, making William Grant feel awkward. He warned, "Son, if I get stopped on the street today, you definitely won't make it to school." Ethan slyly replied, "Don't think I don't know you signed me up for extra classes today." Hearing this, William Grant felt uneasy, and immediately, Ethan shouted, "Help! This creepy uncle is kidnapping me." The boy's scream drew everyone's attention, leaving William Grant sighing and patting Ethan's head to calm things down. When the bus stopped, William Grant quickly carried Ethan off, trying to keep the situation under control. However, Ethan continued to struggle and express his dissatisfaction. After getting off the bus, the boy angrily looked at William Grant and said, "You dropped me off here. How am I supposed to get to kindergarten?" He emphasized that there were only 20 minutes left before school started. William Grant looked around and realized they were quite far from the kindergarten. He sighed helplessly and smiled at his son, "It's not far from here. If we walk quickly, we'll make it in time, right? Be a good boy." But Ethan firmly insisted, "Unless you carry me, I won't take a single step." William Grant felt his pride being challenged. In the end, he carried Ethan on his back and walked 5 kilometers to the kindergarten. Along the way, William Grant felt exhausted, but Ethan seemed to be enjoying himself. When they arrived, Ethan jumped off William's back and sternly warned, "If you're a real man, don't tattle to my mom." William could only grit his teeth as Ethan walked into the extra class with his backpack. Before leaving, the boy smirked mischievously, "You made me attend extra classes on a Sunday to torment me, so I won't let you have it easy either." Afterward, William called the driver to pick him up and take Ethan home. When they entered the house, he saw Annabelle Kennedy holding her phone with a worried expression. Seeing William, she quickly ran over and asked, "Why are you sweating so much? Did Ethan cause trouble again?" William pulled Annabelle into his arms, hugging her from behind. His voice was slightly tired but filled with charm. "Ethan is jealous because I took you away. I really do want to take you away. It's my fault for Ethan's antics, but as long as it doesn't harm him physically, it's okay." Annabelle still frowned with concern but couldn't help feeling the warmth from William. Ethan Kennedy and Lily Brown's eyes met, creating a tense atmosphere. When Lily Brown appeared, Ethan Kennedy felt fear and immediately stepped back, wary, "Come any closer, and I'll scream." Lily Brown's presence brought back traumatic memories from Ethan's past when he had been kidnapped. Despite Lily Brown's attempts to reassure him, Ethan Kennedy struggled vehemently, "Let me go, you villain." Lily Brown, somewhat disappointed, explained that he had no intention of harming Ethan. However, Ethan refused to believe him and retorted, "You're the big villain. I don't trust you. You treated my mom badly, and you want to kill me." Lily Brown admitted he never intended to hurt Ethan Kennedy, but the boy refused to accept the apology. Lily Brown knew Ethan was very attached to Annabelle Kennedy and held hostility toward men who showed interest in his mother. At one point, Lily Brown had considered removing Ethan as an obstacle, but things hadn't gone as planned. Ethan Kennedy decided to cause a scene, shutting his eyes and shouting loudly, "Help! Murder! Someone save me, MMPH!" His cries drew the attention of those nearby, causing concern about the situation. Although many recognized Lily Brown as the son of a wealthy family, no one dared intervene. Even so, Ethan continued making a fuss, while Lily Brown calmly said, "Son, you're really mischievous." He then stuffed Ethan into his sports car and drove off. Ethan knew he had fallen into Lily Brown's hands but wasn't ready to give up. Sitting in the back seat, Ethan glared at Lily through the rearview mirror and warned, "If you dare do anything vile to me, you'll be shot dead 200 times. Lily Brown responded coldly, "Ethan, I told you I won't harm you, and I mean it. Now buckle up, I'll take you home." Ethan hesitantly asked, "Which home are you taking me to?" He felt anxious, unsure of Lily Brown's intentions. Ethan continued to express his distrust, warning Lily that if he were harmed, his mother wouldn't forgive him. Lily simply replied that he was well aware of that. As the car turned, Ethan couldn't help but feel uneasy when his head bumped against the window. Though he doubted Lily Brown's goodwill, he realized the car was indeed heading toward his home. Upon arriving at the apartment complex, Ethan rushed toward the elevator, shouting for his mother. When Annabelle Kennedy opened the door, Ethan ran to her, clutching her leg and tattling about Lily Brown. Annabelle, though not entirely convinced, remained cautious of Lily. Lily explained that he had only brought Ethan home because no one was there to pick him up. While Annabelle was somewhat worried, William Grant insisted on inviting Lily inside. Lily did not refuse and stepped in. William Grant offered Lily some tea, but he declined and sat down briefly. Annabelle warned Lily that Ethan didn't have a good impression of him and hoped he wouldn't scare the boy further. Lily felt guilty about what had happened in the past and wanted to make amends with both Annabelle and Ethan. He handed Annabelle a gift card for toys Ethan liked, but Annabelle refused, stating that her son was grown and no longer interested in those toys. Lily seemed disappointed, but Annabelle firmly insisted that she needed no compensation from him. She only wanted to live her life with Ethan. The atmosphere in the living room grew tense as William Grant, having finished preparing tea, entered with a cup for everyone. William noticed there was something between Annabelle and Lily but couldn't delve deeper. He only knew that Lily Brown had a complicated past involving his former tutor, who was none other than Annabelle Kennedy. Lily Brown looked at Annabelle Kennedy with a cold expression, asserting that their relationship was merely a short-term tutoring arrangement. Annabelle Kennedy seemed satisfied with this response. After Lily Brown left, Annabelle expressed her displeasure to William Grant about inviting Lily into their home, believing it would only lead to false hopes and eventual disappointment for him. Ethan Kennedy also joined the conversation, complaining about William Grant failing to pick him up. The next day, Ethan was once again left waiting at the school gate and grew angry. While waiting, he met the class president, a sweet little girl, and they had a brief conversation. She didn't believe Ethan when he said William Grant wasn't his father, accusing him of lying. Ethan tried to explain, but eventually admitted that William Grant was his father in name only. Their conversation was cheerful yet competitive, and Ethan felt insulted when the girl called him weak. As the class president ran toward her father, Ethan didn't notice Lily Brown standing at the corner of the street. Lily, passing by chance, decided to approach Ethan. She reassured him that she would take him home. Ethan, however, was wary and stepped back, unwilling to interact with Lily. He believed that William Grant only wanted to get rid of him because he was an obstacle to his relationship with Ethan's mother. Ethan countered, asserting that William treated him well and that the love between his mother and William was genuine. He compared Lily to William, calling Lily someone he considered despicable. Although Ethan nodded in agreement with Lily, he felt uneasy when Lily brought up the relationship between his mother and William. Lily claimed that Ethan's mother hadn't fully committed to William yet and that he still had a chance to pursue her. Ethan grew anxious and warned Lily not to act recklessly, but Lily remained determined and unafraid. Using sarcastic remarks, Lily made Ethan feel helpless, but ultimately agreed not to harm him in front of his mother. Lily emphasized that Ethan was merely a tool for him to get closer to Annabelle. Ethan felt hurt but also realized that the affection he received from others stemmed from his mother being Annabelle Kennedy. When Lily forced Ethan into his car, Annabelle arrived to pick up her son but couldn't find him. Worried, she called the police, sensing something was wrong. At the station, she explained the situation to the officers, who assured her they would do everything to find Ethan. Meanwhile, William Grant, in the middle of a meeting, received Annabelle's distressed call. Hearing her anxious voice, he immediately left to join her at the station. Upon arrival, he found Annabelle sitting in despair, her face pale. She informed him that the daycare cameras had failed to capture any footage of Ethan due to a power outage. William comforted Annabelle, assuring her that Ethan would be fine. However, when she said she would follow Ethan if he died, his heart ached. He held her shoulders tightly, trying to reassure her while battling his own rising worry. Annabelle looked at William with a tired, vacant expression, admitting that people disliked Ethan because he was considered a burden. However, she affirmed her love for her son and her willingness to go anywhere with him. William grew increasingly concerned, seeing her strength intertwined with pain, not wanting her to endure such suffering. Meanwhile, Ethan was at a doll-themed cafe with Lily. He mocked Lily and didn't believe his intentions when Lily claimed he wanted to marry his mother. Ethan openly criticized Lily's schemes, and Lily admitted that his plans had been disrupted by Ethan's family. Suddenly, Lily's phone rang, and a police officer informed him that he was linked to a child trafficking case. After clarifying the situation, Lily assured that he had no intention of harming Ethan and merely wanted to take him out for desserts. He decided to bring Ethan back to the police station. Upon arrival, Ethan saw his mother waiting. Annabelle was overjoyed to see her son safe, but her gaze turned cold when it landed on Lily. Feeling guilty, Lily apologized, but Annabelle unexpectedly slapped him, demanding that he never touch her son again. Lily, heartbroken, bowed his head in remorse, but Annabelle resolutely pulled Ethan away, ignoring the reactions of the police or Lily. Her actions clearly demonstrated her unwavering love and fierce protection for her son, regardless of the challenges. William Grant watched Annabelle Kennedy as she walked away, worried about her mood and Ethan Kennedy's feelings. Once in the car, William Grant tried to comfort Annabelle, assuring her that Lily Brown had no ill intentions. Ethan, sitting in the back seat, also spoke up in defense of Lily, but Annabelle refused to listen. She felt the need to distance herself from Lily to prevent further suffering. Annabelle believed that only by causing Lily pain would he finally let go. William disagreed with this approach and felt heartbroken seeing Annabelle cry. He embraced her, reassuring her that she wasn't at fault and that the responsibility lay with Lily. Ethan observed the tension between the two adults and began to question William's feelings for his mother. The boy decided to keep the truth about the past to himself, fearing it might disrupt his mother's marriage. In the following days, life returned to normal. One Saturday, William came home to find Ethan watching a historical drama. Sitting beside him, William asked about the film. Ethan, uninterested, began teasing William about the characters. William tried to guess which role Ethan would play, but the boy arrogantly dismissed every suggestion. Their conversation was filled with humor and warmth, with Ethan showing off his wit and sharpness. William then informed Ethan about his upcoming role in a period drama as Maximilian, a project funded by Ethan's great-uncle. Ethan showed excitement and wanted to audition, but Annabelle immediately refused upon hearing the news. She disapproved of her son acting, leading to Ethan being punished by standing against the wall for insisting on joining the cast. William comforted Ethan, promising to help him convince Annabelle. Although Ethan doubted his stepfather's ability, William confidently assured him he would succeed. When Ethan approached his mother again, Annabelle mocked his desire to act, leaving him embarrassed. Ultimately, she remained firm in her decision not to let him participate. The next morning, William and Ethan went to the film set. Ethan attracted attention, especially after being dressed in period costumes and makeup. As he was led to audition, a screenwriter explained that he needed to portray fear without overacting. Ethan questioned William's absence, only to be told his father was getting into costume. Preparing for his audition, Ethan realized the role involved more lines than he had anticipated. Tension rose when Ethan saw the director conversing with a young man in luxurious period attire. Nervous and unsure of what awaited him, Ethan's mix of anxiety and excitement created an intriguing atmosphere, promising unexpected moments ahead. William soon appeared in his period costume, drawing admiration from the entire crew. A female staff member even remarked that with his appearance, it would be easy for Lillian to fall for him. Ethan sighed, feeling embarrassed by the attention his father received. When William stepped into the audition space, his commanding and cold demeanor made Ethan instinctively step back. Despite his fear, Ethan had to act, though his nervousness caused him to tremble. William quickly got into character, creating a scene that was both intense and amusing. After the audition, William hugged Ethan, praising his performance. The crew snapped countless photos of the father-son duo, capturing memorable moments. However, back home, Annabelle was displeased. She questioned Ethan about skipping school, leading to him being punished by kneeling. Ethan came up with the idea of kneeling by the washing machine to appease his mother, but William ended up being dragged into the punishment as well. Despite having to kneel all night, Ethan remained determined to pursue his passion for acting. The next day, William took him back to the set. There, Ethan met the lead actress, Sarah Young, who seemed to have a liking for William. Innocently, Ethan asked Sarah about her feelings for his father, causing her to blush. Their conversation was light-hearted and humorous, with Ethan reminding Sarah not to ruin someone else's family. Just then, a female voice called out from a distance, emphasizing that not everyone was capable of destroying a family. The argument between Sarah Young and Lucy Lewis grew intense as Lucy mocked Sarah for clinging to William Grant. Sarah retaliated, claiming Lucy's acting was nothing more than a mediocre supporting role. Ethan Kennedy, sitting nearby, watched the heated exchange as if it were a real drama. After continuous rehearsals, Ethan began to feel exhausted. One day, as he left class, he unexpectedly encountered Lily Brown. Though they didn't speak much, William Grant noticed the meeting and grew uneasy. He decided to talk to Annabelle Kennedy to address the matter. When William shared with Annabelle about Lily seeking Ethan, she immediately felt tense. They discussed asking Ethan directly to clarify his relationship with Lily. William reassured Annabelle that there was nothing to worry about, but she still resolved to speak to her son. Later, Annabelle entered Ethan's room, where he was reading comics, and seriously questioned him about Lily Brown. Surprised by the question, Ethan quickly denied that Lily had sought him out. He felt uneasy when his mother doubted his words. Annabelle wasn't entirely convinced and continued pressing Ethan, leaving him feeling pressured and upset. The story unfolded layers of suspicion and tension among the characters, especially between Ethan and Lily, as well as the concern his parents had for him. Ethan felt torn as he faced the truth about Lily Brown. He didn't want to hurt her, but he also didn't want his mother, Annabelle, to dislike him further. Although he wasn't keen on helping Lily, after hearing her share about her past, his perspective shifted. When Annabelle sternly asked if Lily had met him, Ethan hastily denied it and begged her not to believe rumors. He used a pleading tone to calm his mother, and eventually, Annabelle relented. However, she remained uneasy. Determined to uncover the truth, she secretly followed Ethan to his kindergarten to see if Lily was indeed meeting him. When she witnessed Ethan interacting with Lily, Annabelle became furious and confronted them both. Ethan tried to explain that he no longer resented Lily and that she had revealed the truth about a past kidnapping incident. He hoped his mother could forgive Lily, but Annabelle held firm, believing that no excuse could justify Lily's actions. Lily felt hopeless upon hearing Annabelle declare that the past could not be undone. He realized his actions had sealed his fate with Annabelle. Despite having reasons he couldn't explain, he knew he couldn't undo what was done. Lily wondered if he could turn back time to change everything. He found it ironic to think about how oblivious he had been to the consequences his actions would have on others. The story delves into deep emotions of forgiveness, responsibility, and the irreversible outcomes of past decisions. Ethan, in an effort to protect Lily, faced the complexity of the relationship between his mother and the person he once feared. Lily felt pain as he looked at Annabelle. Though he tried to smile, the anguish made his face pale. He decided he would no longer appear before Annabelle, not wanting to make her uncomfortable. After he left, Annabelle felt conflicted as she watched his figure disappear. Ethan, though only 6 years old, recognized Lily's inner torment and wished his mother could understand and forgive him. Annabelle reminded her son that life isn't that simple and that wrong decisions could leave heavy consequences. When Ethan asked his mother about Lily's feelings for her, Annabelle was surprised but firmly stated that her relationship with Lily had completely ended. She didn't want to think about it anymore. Lily Brown returned home in a gloomy mood. He felt regret for the decisions he had made in the past and didn't know what to do to regain Annabelle Kennedy's affection. Although he intended to explain himself to her, he realized it might no longer matter. One afternoon, Lily Brown went to Ethan Kennedy's kindergarten, hoping to see Annabelle Kennedy. When Ethan Kennedy saw Lily Brown, the boy advised him to give up his feelings for his mother, as she wasn't happy when seeing him. Lily Brown accepted that Annabelle Kennedy no longer wanted to meet him and felt disappointed. In the end, Lily Brown drove to a large bar, hoping alcohol could help him forget the pain. He understood he regretted his past mistakes, leaving only emptiness behind. William Grant returned home and found Ethan Kennedy in his adorable pajamas. The boy announced that he would move back to his own room. William Grant realized Ethan Kennedy had thought carefully about his mother's feelings and Lily Brown. When Ethan Kennedy asked William Grant to treat Annabelle Kennedy well, William felt delighted. Meanwhile, Lily Brown continued to feel miserable and didn't know how to change the situation. He could only watch Annabelle Kennedy and Ethan Kennedy from afar, experiencing loneliness and regret for his past decisions. At the Starry Night bar, Lily Brown sat alone, drinking to drown his sorrows. When a provocatively dressed bartender approached him, he coldly requested a bottle of brandy. He paid no attention to her charm, only wanting to use alcohol to numb the pain in his heart. While Lily Brown was lost in thought, a group of acquaintances, led by young Master Wang, came over to greet him. They kept praising Lily Brown and discussing his future within the family. However, Lily Brown felt disgusted and had no interest in joining their conversation. Young Master Wang tried to befriend Lily Brown but made inappropriate remarks about women, which further irritated him. When someone in the group made a crude comment about Annabelle Kennedy, Lily Brown couldn't contain his anger and punched young Master Wang in the face. This act caused the atmosphere to grow tense. Although the people around were all from wealthy families, they didn't dare intervene in the altercation between Lily Brown and young Master Wang. However, when young Master Wang called for backup, his group began attacking Lily Brown. Despite knowing he was facing many opponents, Lily Brown had resolved not to back down. He downed the last bottle of brandy, preparing for the upcoming fight. His anger and inner pain had transformed into an unyielding determination. The battle between Lily Brown and young Master Morton's group had officially begun. Lily Brown was not only fighting for himself but also for the honor of Annabelle Kennedy, a woman he deeply respected. At that moment, everything around seemed to freeze, and he was determined not to let anyone insult the woman he cherished. In the past, while living on Wall Street in the U.S., Lily Brown had encountered many bullies and had been harassed, but he always sought revenge. However, he never shared these experiences with his father, Alex Brown, who remained unaware of his son's past. Lily Brown had lived in the U.S. long enough to develop resilience, and he didn't see these weak rich boys as worthy opponents. When the brawl broke out, Lily Brown defeated each member of the group, feeling a sense of relief as he vented his pent-up frustration. While he was engrossed in the fight, a man dressed in denim and wearing a baseball cap secretly recorded the scene. This man was a paparazzo, hunting for sensational news, and he quickly realized he had stumbled upon a major story involving the eldest son of the Brown family. The next day, images of Lily Brown leading the brawl appeared on the front pages of major newspapers, drawing significant media attention. The Brown family, a prominent household, suddenly became the center of public scrutiny. During breakfast, Alex Brown saw the news and lost his appetite. Furious and helpless, he confronted his son, who was unaware of the incident going public. Throwing the newspaper in front of Lily Brown, Alex demanded to know where he had been the previous night. Lily was startled to realize his actions had been recorded. Frustrated, he regretted forgetting that a bar was a public and unsafe place. When Alex criticized his handling of the situation, Lily felt uneasy but acknowledged his father's point. Alex warned him that fighting with the youngest son of the Morton family could have severe consequences, especially since their company had multiple projects in collaboration with the Morton family. He emphasized that in the business world, having more friends was better than creating enemies. Lily understood this but couldn't accept the disdain in his father's tone. Meanwhile, David Grant, the younger brother of William Grant, saw an opportunity in this event to tarnish Annabelle Kennedy's reputation, William Grant's wife. He decided to exploit the scandal to drive a wedge between Annabelle and William. The following day, shocking news broke, claiming that Lily Brown had acted out of love for Annabelle Kennedy, making her the focal point of the scandal. Public opinion buzzed with debates about the relationship between Annabelle Kennedy and Lily Brown, with mixed reactions. Annabelle felt bewildered to find herself embroiled in yet another scandal. David Grant not only exposed this matter but also called his parents to inform them about William Grant's marriage to Annabelle Kennedy. This enraged their mother, who decided to intervene in the situation.